loved ones. It's in the book. When are we going to stop getting surprised and astonished at what these people continue to do? I'm not against you marching and protesting. I understand. And there is no better way sometimes to let your enemies know that you're not with what they're doing and you're not going to tolerate what they're doing, then protesting. But here's where we're going backwards, family. It ain't nothing that these men are doing that is right. Nothing. They have done everything wrong to everyone. But our issue did not start with them. Will you please read Deuteronomy 28 over and over again if you have to? And when you read it, will you ask the Most High, our Creator, our Father, will you ask Him to give you understanding? To show you what that book is saying, and to show you what it means, and to show you why we're catching all of this hell that we're catching. I say this over and over again, and these are not my words. They're just paraphrased. But it's laced throughout the scripture. If my people, which are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray, seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear their land. Now you may say, I'm not wicked, I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus and I never do anything to anybody. Listen, loved one, I understand, and that is to be commended, and no one is here to disrespect your belief. But you guys, we were born into Christianity, and we still don't know the origin of it, and we still don't know the document that Christianity is hijacked and whitewashed, and we still are not getting the blessings that are written in that very chapter. We still have as examples men who have made it in a system of religion that is deeply pagan, deeply materialistic, and deeply racist. We still have the same set of circumstances over the centuries. And how many black people are calling themselves Christians? We still have, now some of you are Rose, he done turned his back on Jesus, and he's turning his back on God, and he's turned. No, I'm not a Christian anymore. Thank God. I'm not prescribing to or crying out to a white Jesus. How many of our people are calling on Jesus and getting shot? And see, if one of you, my brothers, I'm not going to call your name out of here. You know who you are. But I remember when Sandra Bland was killed, and you had some words for me. You didn't like my post, and you said Just because she got killed, that don't mean all of us. That didn't happen to all of us. That happened to her. And you also said that I should give people something encouraging and motivating. Brother, it's hard to encourage and motivate people who draw their comfort and their peace from a religion that was imposed on them by the slave masters, as it's closer to us. But centuries ago, European men, crusaders, went to all-out war against the world to impose and colonize every nation into Christianity that they could. And the biggest fight is against the nation of the Muslims. See, it's hard to encourage our people when our people don't believe. As a matter of fact, they mock at it. They laugh at the truth that we are the children of Israel. We are the Hebrews of the Bible. We are the chosen people of the world. We are the only people that God chose to call by his name. That's not Christians. Now, the other nations can be grafted into the Commonwealth of Israel, but you're too busy letting the other nations tell you who God is, who you are not, and what the truth is. And they compel you out of fear to serve their gods. Because I need you to know something. Moses and the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were not serving Jesus. Well, Isaiah talked about him coming and talked about him, our Messiah, yes. Jesus, 400-year-old name or whatever, not him. Certainly not a white man. And for all of you who are saying, yeah, you caught up in the flesh and ethnicity is unimportant, I would make you understand something. If you can't say that to the government who classifies you as either Negro, Black, or African American, or person of color, and they make you live under that. If you can't say to them, color doesn't matter, when everything that is regulated against you, everything that you are gentrified, every location you are gentrified into, and everything that would restrict you is because of your color of your skin and your bloodline. If you can't say to them color doesn't matter, then you shouldn't say that to someone who is saying color does matter when it comes to the history and the ancestry associated with our Messiah. Because he's not just a person of color to us. And he's not an ethereal spirit that walked around. He is our bloodline ancestor and our rite of passage without Christianity and without a false image of a man whose motto was the homosexual lover of Leonardo da Vinci. That's not the standard. Well, I don't believe in that picture. I don't think they even believe in that picture. But I know a lot of us people who grew up as Christians were moved and motivated and got in our subconscious an image of our Messiah. Even if we don't believe it now, that image of our Messiah was imposed on us, so much so that you're saying things that don't make sense. When has bloodline not mattered? When that whole Bible is filled with God saying to a chosen people and God running down a line of one family. And God being so cold as to tell our kings, our prophets, and our leaders to go in and fire up nations. You see, there are very few Christians that know the Old Testament. Most of them are building their doctrine and going to churches getting encouraged with messages of the rapture, messages of how to make it in America. How to be blessed because you follow Jesus and you pay your tithes and you guys, you're going to have to stop getting amazed by this mess. Because the amazing thing is that after all of these centuries, we still don't know who we are, and we still don't have a clue as to how to get out of this. And it's so simply put forth in the Holy Scriptures. Over and over again, I give you Deuteronomy chapter 28. Verse 1 reads, "And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command you this day, that the Lord God will set you on high above all nations of the earth." That is not to Christians. That is to you, black man. And guess what? It's not everybody just because they're black. It's a family line. It's a bloodline. It's evident that in history, the other nations that God was having the children of Israel fire up looked like them. And you may say, what kind of God would have people kill people? Well, I think the same kind of God that allows presidents to decide that they're going to go to war over oil. And they're going to leave carnage all over their own nation by sending young boys into Vietnam or Saudi Arabia or the Gulf or wherever, only to come home and be confused, broke, addicted to morphine, or somewhere out of their mind with bitterness and fear. Post-traumatic war syndrome. You kidding me? What kind of God would fire up nations? A God who knows that centuries after he told these people to get rid of these seeds, centuries later, that seed would still be there, hating his people, hating him, and determined that they're going to bring everything abominable and filthy into the world. And God gave them life, he gave them breath, and he is the one who can say, get rid of them. I don't need them here anymore. And why are you so afraid of God firing up your enemies? Well, the Bible says, vengeance is mine, says the Lord. Then why are you so afraid of him taking vengeance? It says here, I will set you above, high above all nations of the earth. Is that you, black man? Are you sitting high above all the nations of the earth? Experience tells me that everywhere we go, we're looked down on. Now, you may say, Rose, why you been so hard on the people? Back to my brother. Why don't you encourage somebody? Encouragement doesn't always feel good. And remember this, before you can be properly encouraged, you have to have your dome on straight. You have to understand the laws of spiritual things, and you have to know the history of your people and your God's actions with your people. And before you can be encouraged, you can't be a religious person eating Jesus wolf cookies. Yeah, I know that name. Because, see, that's the name that was interjected in there. And you don't need to be afraid or angry, or certainly don't need to feel like I got a devil. You'd be surprised if you knew what devil gave you that name. You guys, we can't help it. We didn't speak Hebrew. So by the time the Latin had derived into English, and this was what, maybe a little more than 400 years ago. I'm not sure. You can look it up. Here comes this name, Jesus. Isn't it amazing to just think about the fact that Paul wasn't even calling him that? Shaul, as his name is pronounced in Hebrew, and even that is knockoff, because there's passage in here, there's a scripture in here, a passage of scripture in Deuteronomy 28 that says we would be in a land with a people with a language that we don't understand. And everything that was ours would be taken from us. So this Hebrew that men are learning and studying, hey, Steve McMarion, big bro, man, I've been so busy. We got to talk, though. We got to talk, and we got to see each other when we come to California. But point I'm stating is that is Germanic Hebrew. I mean, you can study it if you want, but you're going to have to be in your spirit. That's the only place you're going to make it. You're not going to make it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with studying, reading other books. If I were you, I wouldn't read a lot of books written by white men. Listen, you guys, and I know some of you think it's racist, but I really don't have much time to go around and around with you on that. You have got to learn one day that you cannot trust someone who changes the face of your Messiah. You cannot trust someone who steals from you and acts like that what he has is his and was never yours, and begins to tell you about it. What have we learned? So that's why I say, quit being amazed, quit being excited, quit being astonished at what these people are doing, and be more astonished at our ignorance and our lack of understanding. And some of us, you got to admit it, you hate the thought that the Messiah looks like you. No, you hate it. You despise it. I remember when I was young, people would say it to me, and I'd hear it before, but I didn't think it was credible. You know why? Because it was coming from a so-called black person. And as much as I love my people and love myself, I have had to fight, like many of you, the self-imposed the imposed insecurity, excuse me, and fear that we're not gonna make it, or we're gonna get through. I had a friend of mine posted on their page, who's next? Who's next? And then one of her friends said, probably me, I'm the right color. I fit the profile. And then the friend of mine said, yeah, something to the effect of probably me too. And I said, listen, you guys, will you stop that? Will you stop that? Will you stop resisting and get in the book? Get in the book. You're just prophesying that some more of us are going to be killed. You're just prophesying that it might be me next. And because you don't understand the power of your words, because that's how you're created, like I tell my friend, you are a speaking spirit. Well, not really my friend, just a Facebook acquaintance, You're a speaking spirit. You are not the product of what you have been told in a culture that I don't care how much you protest. Let me tell you something about your oppressors. That's what the rulers of this nation are. They're oppressors. Okay? If they could find a way to have full-out slavery, believe me, they would. Not all of them, but them, they don't count. And here's why I say they don't count. We have been too busy trying to defend white people who love us that we have never understood. God never needed nobody to love you. He loves you and he's enough. And he told you love one another. He did not tell you to love these other nations. I am so sick and tired of black people being ashamed to say to white people, I don't have to love you. I don't have to prove that I don't hate you. As a matter of fact, I don't even have to discuss the matter. Damn it, I'm centuries behind in my development and understanding of my God and my people. Why are you even trying to be up in my life, trying to certify me, trying to validate me, and trying to get me to submit to your love for me? Oh my goodness. And see, you have to understand where all of these mentalities come from and what they do, people. You were put here first, number one. You were never required by your God, and he is your God. He doesn't claim to be anyone else's God. He's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Before all of this chatter and busy lying and murdering got loose in the earth, the whole world knew it. The whole world knew that this bad somebody, this awesome I am that destroyed Egypt, that destroyed Rome, that destroys every kingdom that rises up against him, before all of this busyness got loose in the earth, the whole world knew that the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of David, the God of old crazy anointed Samson, the God of Samuel, the God of Nahum, the God of Nathan, the God of Elijah and Elisha, the God of Peter, the God of Paul, the God of those men was the true God, the true and living God, the only true and living God, and the whole world knew it. Even the pagans that worship gods that they made with their hands, they knew that you did not mess with the God that parted the Red Sea, that delivered people out of a bondage and oppression. And by the way, they were the same color, skin color, as the people that had them in bondage and oppression. Everyone knew that that God was God. It's just been a whole lot of lying going on now. And it's why black people are so confused. Because now white people got a God that we serve. And we don't even know our own. And before you get I'm not in a Pan-Africanism. I'm not a Muslim. Let me tell you something. I don't hate Africans. But you guys, you're losing your identity when you call yourself an African American. I'm sorry. You're losing your identity. Yeah, some of our ancestors are in Africa, but we're not Africans. just because we're black. The Amalekites, the Moabites, the Hittites, the descendants of Ham. These are the African nations. Yeah, they're related to us, but Noah had 3 sons. See, you let white people tell you that we're the descendants of Ham. Servant of servants shall you be, Ham, the son of Noah, who was albino, black, but he was albino and he had black sons. But the son of Noah, Ham, who laughed at his father, and it's a more graphic depiction of what happens, where it says he uncovered his father's nakedness. It's a more graphic picture of what Ham did to his father when his father was drunk. And his father woke up and cursed him. You let white people tell you that that's where we came from. I just got one question from him. How did Noah have a black son and 2 white sons? You got to think. And the best way to think is not to put on your thinking cap, not to go to seminary, and not to listen to people who have been helping stimulate lies in you. The best way to think is to get in that book. If you obey, I will set you high above all nations of the earth. This is yet to happen to us before. Don't let none of these preachers tell you that they got a handle on that because they're Christian and they are traveling all over the world and they got jets and they got people following them and they hooked up with white men who are always going to be on top of them in this Christian thing. I need you to know that. And they can get up and they can preach and they can tell you about the blessing of Abraham and all of that. And the blessing of Abraham ain't even being talked about in these churches. And if what these men are talking about is the blessing of Abraham, then Donald Trump and Howard Hughes and J. Paul Getty and the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and the Goldmans and Goldwaters and all of these people got the blessing of Abraham. Because having a message that tickles your people's ears as it keeps them ignorant, that has them getting the miracle of a car or a house or all their bills paid or their credit being A1. I don't know about you, but I don't need nobody making me a credit score. You in the way of my real blessing, having me concentrated on repairing my credit score in America. Got us all choosing all crazy, and it's in here, serving strange gods. How many of us been in the Lord 40, 50 years and still haven't really learned much other than how to get a blessing in America? Did you realize America's going down? Do you realize that the Israel that they're talking about, you bless a Jew, God will bless you if you bless a Jew. Do you realize America has Israel in this nation and they are not treating them right? And for that and that alone, America is doomed. All the other crazy things that they're doing. Allowing sodomy now to be accepted as normal social behavior. It's an abomination. I said it. It's an abomination. I said it. It's an abomination. But see, you don't realize how that filth is on you. Getting back to my brother. Yeah, when they killed Sandra Bland, they did kill you. Yeah, I know you don't like that because you still breathing and you don't want to be associated with death. But you got to understand something. God doesn't see us as a bunch of black people here in different families. It's one family. It's one family. He led multitudes out of Egypt. And it's a bloodline. See, you let these people take your consciousness away from you. Yeah, our ancestors put us in that position, and God said he would chastise us. Hahaoa, the Most High, said he would chastise us. And And we are in that chastisement. And guess what? It's getting worse. It's getting worse. I don't care how many messages you hear about the rapture and getting out of this. When you get in this, out of this, same way you got in. What did that doorman say in Crush Groove? Same way I rolled your fat ass in here, I'm going to roll your fat ass out. Same way we got in is the way we got to get out. Our ancestors left. They left his commandments. What does Christianity teach you? Oh, we not under the law, so you don't have to obey the commandments. Hey, look, as long as I was in that kind of teaching, I had an insatiable drive to think things, say things, and do things that I knew I had no business doing, and find myself repenting every day. And I'm going to be honest with you, the residue of it is still on me. The residue of it is still on me. And I'm not ashamed to admit it because I'm covered. And how many of us men get on Facebook and be an adulterer? You don't have to raise your hand. I can't see you no way. Nobody can see you. But how many of us do that? And if you guys wonder why I'm not teaching as much, because I just go through my videos. I got over 200 of them. And I look and I say, wow, thank you, Father, for bearing with me. Thank you for opening my eyes and keep me humble so that I can hear from my brother. Because there are men who are much more versed in this than me. They've studied. They've spent more of their time. Me, I am learning, and as I learn, I know it's the truth because it's not something that I'm putting on like I put on Christianity. People say, when it says put on Christ, they think that that's saying putting on Christianity. That's not. Christianity is something that was imposed on you. Christianity is something that could never be inside of you. When you put on Christ, as it says, you are actually putting on the behavior of the one who dwells in you by his Spirit. And that's not Christianity. That's obeying his laws. It's simple. Christianity has made it mystical and ethereal as it purports to be putting us in touch with the Spirit and truth. It's the biggest lie. Huge lie. Because here's Deuteronomy sitting here telling you what'll happen if you obey him. And here's our experience. We are sitting in the opposite of that. 68 verses in here. From 1 to 14 tells you about the blessings. From 15 on down to verse 68 tells you about the curses. Ending up with, and the Lord shall bring you into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spoke unto you. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bond slave men and bond slave women. And no man shall buy you. No man will redeem you. No man will save you. None of our leaders have been able to. None of them will. Am I saying we should not have leaders? No. Am I saying we should not come together and have organizations? No. But I am saying this. We are a family of the Most High people on the earth. And if you think I'm lying, ask yourself, why has there been a centuries-long campaign to make sure that you stay the lowest? I'm going to cut this message now. And I'll get back to it at another time. But I want you to be encouraged and to understand that there's a way out of this. And go to the Word and ask Yah to give you understanding and to help you. Because this needs to end. But as long as you are trying to go in the end door, walking out, just be another generation of us die off as it gets worse and worse. See if I can't read something else from here. All these blessings shall come on you and overtake you if you hearken unto the voice of the Lord your God. Blessed shall you be in the city, blessed shall you be in the field. A blessing to us is if one of them gives us a job where we're making enough money, or one of us gets over in entertainment or athletics, or one of us does real good in business with them. These blessings were contained within the blessing of being his chosen people. These blessings were not some privilege or some provision that our enemies made for us. Blessed shall you be in the city, blessed shall you be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of your body, and the fruit of your ground, and the fruit of your cattle, the increase of your kind, and the flocks of your sheep. Blessed shall be your basket and your store. Well, we don't live in that kind of society no more. We don't have cows. We don't have cows now. We got cars. And guess what? We get our food from the store. And guess what? It's filled with chemicals. And guess what? We don't know how to plant nothing. We don't know how to grow nothing. And guess what? When they close these stores and stop making this poison provide for you, if you don't know what you're doing, and if you don't know how to plant nothing and grow nothing and come together with your people, guess what? You're going to be a part of the chaos. And don't be waiting for the tribulation to get you out of there. Because a lot of us, you're ignoring the word right now. You're ignoring the word right now. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear it. And see, you can't help what you heard. So it's not for me or anyone to browbeat you. But we can plead with you. You need to get in this word and get away from this Christian thinking and all of this other thinking that was imposed by you, by your oppressor. Because I guarantee you, if it came from him, it wasn't going to make you close to God. And I know some of them are sincere and really mean well. That ain't your problem. That's not your problem. That's typical of us. Our great-great-great-grandmamas in slavery, white babies sucking on their titties, and then growing up calling them by their first name. Why? Because we always took care of massa. And still today, I have never seen so many ignorant black people, never, going to battle with this Christian, neurotic, religious mindset. Every time a so-called black man stands up, I don't call myself black no more. I'm Hebrew. I'm not a color. Every time a brother stands up and starts talking about our independence and our freedom to worship our Creator, who claimed himself and bound himself to us only. You don't see it nowhere in the Bible where he bound himself to all these crazy people with all of these Catholic overtones telling the world how to be saved. You don't see that nowhere in the Bible. Nowhere. But if you're one of those who've been trained and indoctrinated into Christianity, I understand how you think you do. But trust me, you don't. You really don't. Because if what we are supposed to have right here, what we're supposed to have in Psalm 91, was being taught to you the right way in the Bible, you would understand that Christianity is a farce, because it has not produced the things that that Bible promises. Yeah, we got to return. We got to get back. I said I would cut it off. I just, man, every time I get here, I just want to read something to you, because it's so much. All of these blessings and this power, this wealth and stuff, we don't have it. The Lord shall make you the head and not the tail. You shall be above only, and you shall not be beneath. If that you hearken unto the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you this day, to observe and to do them. The Lord shall open unto you his good treasure, the heaven, to give the rain unto your land in its season, and to bless all the work of your hands. And you shall lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. Oh my goodness. How long have we been waiting to do that? Debt and credit is our middle name. Can I get a witness? We get excited about credit. Well, that's just the Old Testament. That's just a picture of what, okay. And that's why we're getting the results we're getting. See, we don't want to be a stickler for the word, but then we want to be a stickler for what's wrong. All these people shooting our fathers, mothers, brothers and sisters, and babies like dogs in the street. Oh, you want to be real particular about that, but you don't want to go to the word that tells you how we got off into that, why it happened. Now, I'm saying these white people are right? No. They're going to hell on a handbasket. Some of these people are filled with devils. This brother, Alton, that they just shot, what's his name? How they just shot this brother. The video is unmistakable. And, you know, me, I'm bored with it. I'm bored with it. I'm bored with it. That's why I got the edge on me that I got. I don't care about people saying, Rose, you're angry and all this. God is angry. Are you kidding me? Black men, stop letting white men make you a homosexual, make you a faggot, make you a sissy by having you tone down your emotions. And you're going to have to speak in a civilized manner. Oh, because you know how to talk quietly and smile and be civilized as you send people to the gas chambers, electric chairs, as you lock people away for a life sentence because they stole $500. But you know how, since you're calm and you have a soft demeanor with your smooth shaven face, and you're not an evil beast. Black man, you should not be afraid or intimidated or embarrassed if you explode everywhere. And Hebrew women, shut your mouth trying to tell your man to act civilized. You sound like a slave wench. You do. You sound like us, and I know you don't like it. You don't like hearing this coming from a brother. You don't like hearing it coming from a brother, but you'll let your oppressors treat you that way. Remember, out on the street preaching, and I'm blasting the truth, because that's what I do. Sister passed by, don't you talk about white man, my husband white. On the bullhorn. Don't tell me your problems. Man, just because someone laying the pipe to you, he ain't a devil. I ain't into your husband. I ain't attracted to your husband. I ain't going to do nothing with him. So I can lay the truth on him. Listen, you guys. Will you understand that God is like Bernie Mac? Will you understand that God is like Bernie Mac? God tells the truth. God buck his eyes. God get excited. God whoop that kid's ass. Yeah. But see, it's removed from you. It's removed from you. Because there's been centuries of lies. And it's coming home to roost on us. This is horrific. You turn on the TV and another black man shot and he didn't do nothing. What is more horrific is us looking at it century after century and never changing. Never changing and expecting to do something. Expecting something to change. But we're never changing. For the same thing every week. But for these jive presidents, what the children of Israel asked for a king and they got Saul. And every king they got after that was a trip. because God never wanted us under any kings, any form of government. Do we obey and rebel? No. But I tell you what, God's going to deliver us. But you know what it's going to start with? You got to return to him, and you got to return to one another. For that brother that said, we're not a family, you out of your mind. When they killed Sandra Bland, that was my little sister they killed. You are so whitewashed in your thinking. You don't understand that God wasn't looking at Reuben and Levi and Simeon and Joseph and Manasseh and Judah. And he wasn't looking at them as different people. They were the children of Israel, one family. And we've multiplied. We multiply wherever we go. But when you start allowing them to teach you how to dumb down who you are, bleach your skin, straighten the hell out your hair, always showing your hair all over the place for every world. A lot of you look at some of these Hebrew women who have their hair covered, and you don't understand what it's like. Because you grew up in America showing everybody your hair. And then you wonder why so many black women suffer from areas of baldness. Some spiritual things happening, and you're not going to ignore them and expect to get remedy out of this horror that we're dealing with. That's all I'm trying to tell you. This is love. The Lord will smite thee with the botch of Egypt, that's disease, and with the emerods, and with the scab, and with the itch whereof you cannot be healed. Black people are always dealing with stuff. The Lord shall smite thee with a consumption, with a fever, verse 22. Verse 22. And with an inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with the sword. That's people killing us. The sword. And with blasting, and with mildew, and they shall pursue you until you perish. This is for not obeying. Verse 15 says, but it shall come to pass. Remember I told you verse 15 is where the curses start. It shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command you this day, that all these curses shall come upon you. Y'all, we living in them. We're living in them. Broke. All the money we get, we don't know how to come together and spend it right. And don't tell me all of us coming together would not please him. Got those of us, some of us sectioned off from one another, holding on to what we think is wealth because we got it in this system. Gotta get taught. I'm gonna stop. I'll get into it another time. I love you much, but y'all, I'm gonna keep telling you because I love you so much. We gotta come back to him. We gotta come back to one another. And it ain't Christianity. Because look, Christianity has you divided. Christianity doesn't have you as a family. Christianity has you under the white man. Gotta understand it. Listen, I love you very much. I'll see you next time. You all be blessed. Let me get my camera back up here. You all be blessed. And remember, the race is given to you if you endure. But you have to abide by his word. And you have to keep his commandments. That's where we got off. That's where we get back on. Be blessed, my loved ones. And ready yourself for the